Denver International Airport sprawls across 35,000 acres, making it nearly twice the size of the next largest airport in America. This vastness, combined with its distinctive roof and rumors of extensive underground facilities, has fueled decades of conspiracy theories about secret bunkers and hidden networks. But what if the truth behind these spaces is more about engineering necessity than government secrecy? DIA also opened 16 months late, with a final cost of $4.8 billion against an initial $1.7 billion plan. This documentary explores the actual subterranean infrastructure required to operate a modern air hub, separating logistical reality from persistent myths, and setting the stage for how the project began and why it grew so large. To understand how that scope took shape, we have to start with the blueprint for a modern megaproject. By 1989, Denver's Stapleton Airport was operating beyond its intended capacity. Persistent congestion and delays signaled that the region had outgrown its primary gateway. The city approved a new airport project with an initial budget of $1.7 billion, promising a state-of-the-art facility to serve the region for decades. The plan called for a massive site northeast of the city, covering an area larger than Manhattan. The project's scale immediately presented immense challenges. Coordinating the work of dozens of primary contractors required a level of logistical planning rarely attempted in public works. Each decision, from runway placement to terminal design, had cascading effects on the entire project. Early enthusiasm for the ambitious vision soon collided with practical realities. Design modifications became frequent as engineers encountered unforeseen site conditions and operational requirements. Political pressures also shaped key choices. City officials wanted the airport to be a showcase of technological innovation, which led to commitments to unproven systems. The most significant of these was the decision to implement a fully automated baggage handling system. This technology was still in its infancy, but planners believed it was essential for the airport's future efficiency. They based this critical choice on optimistic projections rather than existing, tested technology, embedding risk into the core of the design and complicating integration across contractors and systems. The governance structure overseeing the construction proved insufficient for the task. A complex web of city agencies, private consultants, and contractors created communication gaps and blurred lines of authority. Without a single strong project management team, problems festered and grew. Just as importantly, inadequate project controls and monitoring allowed issues to go unnoticed and compound. Small delays and cost overruns in one area impacted others, creating a domino effect that eroded schedules and budgets before leadership could respond effectively. As construction advanced, the financial gap widened steadily. The original $1.7 billion estimate began to look increasingly unrealistic. Costs escalated due to changing specifications, material price increases, and the compounding effect of delays. The project's timeline stretched, pushing the opening date further into the future. These pressures would influence not only what rose above ground, but also what had to be built below it. Tunnels, corridors, and service spaces designed to keep a giant operation running out of sight. That underground build-out wasn't optional. It was fundamental to how the airport would function day to day. Beneath the main terminal of Denver International Airport lies an extensive network of tunnels and utility corridors. This vast subterranean level is a critical component of the airport's operation, not a space for secretive activities. It functions as the facility's central nervous system, housing the essential services that keep the complex running. These underground spaces serve several distinct purposes. One primary function is utility distribution. Massive pipes for water, conduits for electrical power, and ducts for heating and ventilation run through these tunnels, connecting the terminal to remote central plants. Another key function is baggage transport. Separate tunnels were designed for the automated baggage system, intended to move luggage efficiently between concourses and the main terminal. Maintenance access routes also run underground, allowing service crews to reach equipment and infrastructure without disrupting passenger areas above. The sheer scale of this underground infrastructure directly reflects the airport's enormous operational requirements. An airport of this size needs extensive space for the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing systems that serve millions of passengers annually. The remote location of the airport site also contributed to this need. Unlike urban airports that can tie into city utilities, DIA required self-contained systems for power distribution, water, and climate control, many of which are housed below ground to protect them from the harsh Colorado weather and to simplify maintenance. Conspiracy theories often point to specific structural features as evidence of hidden facilities. They highlight the reinforced concrete walls and secure access points found throughout the underground areas. However, these elements have straightforward engineering explanations. The soil conditions on the site required robust structural support for underground construction. Reinforced walls protect critical utility lines and provide structural integrity. Secure access points are standard security protocol for sensitive infrastructure, like electrical substations and control rooms, preventing unauthorized entry that could disrupt airport operations. Construction workers and engineers have long acknowledged these tunnels and rooms, but their testimony describes practical spaces dedicated to utilities, baggage movement, and maintenance, not clandestine bunkers. What is actually underneath Denver International Airport's massive footprint? It is a functional, if extensive, logistical space. The systems are complex because the operation is complex, and within that utility maze sat one ambitious element that would define the airport's early reputation, for reasons no one intended. At the heart of that underground network was the automated baggage handling system, the feature meant to redefine how luggage moved through the airport. The system was intended as the centerpiece of Denver International Airport's modern design. It was planned on an unprecedented scale, the largest automated baggage system of its kind at the time. This advanced approach was a key component meant to provide a seamless travel experience, but its complexity became a primary source of the project's difficulties. The scale required perfect synchronization across thousands of individual moving parts, including carts, tracks, and sorting mechanisms. This intricate design created a major engineering hurdle. The need for flawless coordination across the entire network meant that a single failure in one area could disrupt the entire operation. Software integration problems emerged almost immediately. The system's software struggled to manage the complex routing and timing requirements necessary to move thousands of bags simultaneously. This resulted in widespread misrouting, where luggage would be sent to the wrong concourse or gate. The software's inability to handle the system's demands led to frequent and complete shutdowns, halting baggage flow entirely. These failures had cascading effects, becoming a primary cause of the 16-month delay in opening. The project had to implement costly manual workarounds, with workers physically moving bags to compensate for the automated system's shortcomings. This reliance on manual labor added significant expenses and undermined the efficiency the system was supposed to provide. The technical challenges were numerous and persistent. Beyond software glitches, mechanical failures occurred regularly. Carts would derail on the tracks, and motors would burn out under constant strain. Diagnosing and fixing these problems was difficult due to the system's complexity. The combination of mechanical and software issues created an unreliable system that caused operational problems and flight delays. The project's tight timeline, coupled with political pressure to open, was a critical factor in the system's failure. the compressed schedule left little room for adequate testing and refinement. Such a sophisticated system required extensive, real-world trials, but it was pushed toward operation before those steps were complete. As a result, fundamental flaws surfaced only when the system was supposed to be fully functional, turning a planned innovation into a driver of cost overruns and delays. While engineers worked to stabilize the technology beneath the terminal, the airport's appearance above ground was sending its own message. Public and media would read in very different ways. Above ground, the conversation shifted to form and symbolism, architecture, art, and the birth of conspiracy. The distinctive design elements of Denver International Airport, from its peaked white roof to its controversial artwork, created a visual language that was open to wide interpretation. The architecture was intended to evoke the Rocky Mountains, with the fabric roof designed to resemble snow-capped peaks. However, the sheer scale of the structures and their unconventional appearance sparked alternative readings among the public. The building's massive, isolated presence on the plains contributed to a sense of mystery, and details like the terminal's dedication stone, engraved with a Masonic square and compasses, and naming the New World Airport Commission, an entity that did not exist, added fuel to speculation. Artworks became focal points for conspiracy theories. The most famous is the 32-foot, 9,000-pound Mustang sculpture outside the terminal, known for its glowing red eyes. Another is the set of murals in the terminal that some interpret as having apocalyptic or Masonic symbolism. These pieces were part of a deliberate effort by the city to create a unique regional identity for the airport, investing in public art to distinguish it from other facilities. The artists explained their work as representing themes of peace, nature, and human achievement, while the Mustang's features were the artist's stylistic choice rather than a coded message. The convergence of the airport's massive scale, unusual design, and well-publicized project delays created fertile ground for speculative narratives. As the opening was pushed back and costs soared, public frustration grew. Media coverage often emphasized the mysterious aspects of the project, from the underground tunnels to the architectural anomalies, which reinforced curiosity and skepticism. Stories from construction workers that at least 5 multi-story buildings were completed and then buried beneath the airport amplified the myths. In practice, such buried structures likely reflected redesigns and the need to reroute or enclose complex underground utilities rather than any secret facilities. This environment allowed mythology to flourish, where factual explanations were complex and technical. The gap between the airport's dramatic presentation and its operational challenges made simple, secretive explanations more appealing than the realities of engineering and project management. Understanding why these narratives took hold helps frame what the airport ultimately represents. Taken together, the story resolves into 2 truths: a bold build and the fallout when ambition outpaces control. Denver International Airport stands as both an engineering achievement and a lesson in megaproject management. Its vast scale, once criticized as excessive, now supports a major aviation hub and validates elements of its ambitious design. The airport's operational reality, the extensive underground utility tunnels, and the logistical demands of a large hub explains its unique features. Yet the blend of architectural ambition, massive scale, and highly public cost overruns created ideal conditions for conspiracy theories. When complex infrastructure stumbles in public view, the gap between understanding and engineering reality becomes fertile ground for speculation.